Hey guys, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. We're gonna be doing the Blizzard Temple today, so forget the poo gas from the Wooded Temple. Now we have ice, going from a gas to a solid. Hey, what a change of pace.
We got ice, baby.
Dun 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 dun. I can't believe he is known, primarily, Vanilla Ice that is, for ripping off David Bowie and Queen's fattest beat.
No, haven't you seen the interview? There's like an extra beat. It goes dun 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 dun, or whatever his fucking bullshit excuse was. There's seriously an interview where he defends Ice Baby, and it's just hilarious seeing him backed into a corner.
It's a good song, but we're getting off track now. The deal with the Blizzard Temple is there are 3 bells scattered around the place. The first one's right in front of us, and you've got to ring them in particular ways to open doors in the main chamber. And that's basically it. Not a long dungeon. It's really the boss that's the hardest part of this place. Everything else is just like sliding puzzles, really.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically just Gizmaluke's Cavern. If you play Final Fantasy IX and love it as much as I do, you just gotta ring the bells to get through the dungeon. I don't know why that's a thing either. I don't know, maybe some sort of culture somewhere else started this tradition that bells can be keys, but no, they cannot.
Well, I mean, there's always been a thing of, like, sounds unlocking things, like, whether it be emotions or whatnot, so, I don't know, maybe it's time, I take HellfireComms in a new direction, and, we follow Matt Pat's example, and make game theory videos about Zelda.
Or we could not, because I have self-respect.
Do you? You're doing commentary with me right now. Examine that factoid.
Let's examine. Yup, still just enough self-respect to not make game theory videos. You're welcome, internet.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough. When I was going through recording this, it took a few tries, because goddamn, like, I should really have practice runs of temples before trying to record them. And number 2, I was put in mind of the water/ice temple from Phantom Hourglass, but what stuck out in my mind the most was the boss from that place, like the 2-headed dragon.
Oh yeah, they basically brought Glico back from Zelda 1. Because remember guys, we've had dragons since the beginning, and we've had multi-headed dragons.
Oh yeah.
We had the within the game itself. But hooray, you guys remember this part from Minish Cap? I did. I fucking hated it.
Really? It was fine, I thought.
I liked it in the first dungeon, but when you do it again in that game's ice water dungeon, it gets so annoying.
Tell you what, you can have this back. There you go. Dumb shit. He did not evolve correctly. Then again, were there any natural predators in this place before the darkness came along?
I don't get how the monsters would be in the dungeon in the first place. I mean, aren't these supposed to be religious buildings? Aren't these supposed to be the 4 buildings that are what keeping the ultimate evil locked with the spirit tower? Like, why would there even be monsters allowed in here? There should be forces. Someone needs to protect this shit.
Yeah. What you gotta do, I suppose.
Hey, it is an ice snow dungeon, which, as we all know, are some of the best in Zelda. I mean, come on, the mansion. The mansion alone puts ice dungeons in such a high pedigree in Zelda games. Like, the other ones don't even they just need to be mediocre, and they're just gonna be pulled up by the insanely high score that the freaking mansion in Twilight Princess gets from me.
That just raised the average so high, it's kind of hard to compete, and you know, still binging on Breath of the Wild, it doesn't have themed dungeons, it's essentially, you go into a thing, I'm not going to say what it is, you probably know by now, yeah, you go into the thing, and you got to find 5, like, other things to activate the main thing, and then you get a boss, so the whole temple is one big puzzle, essentially.
I've never been more vaguely intrigued by something in my life.
It was a little bit tricky at first, but Dungeon 2 onwards, there's only 4 of them, but it doesn't really matter because there's like so many like shrines which are like excerpts of like temples, like designed either around a battle challenge or just like a puzzle, essentially.
Yeah, so you basically get the same amount of dungeon content, it's just not packaged in that very convenient, 7 or so main dungeons. Everything else is just going to be overworld.
Actually, what threw me off trying to record this, because it did take like 3 or 4 tries, was I wasn't used to the linearity of the dungeon format, like the old school Zelda dungeon format, because Breath of the Wild has ruined me. I am a wreck now.
Now you see. Now you see what I've been talking about for years, that dungeons are just designed as room A to room B to unlock room C. That's just how they've been designed since Link's Awakening.
I agree. I don't disagree. Therefore, I agree. Alright, let's put bell numero 2 in the place. I actually don't know what that light, that torch over there is for. I can't recall using it throughout the course of the dungeon.
It's probably to get a secret. I don't really recall. I'm replaying the game itself, but I already passed this a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty much back to the final boss. I don't remember what the torch is for. Sorry, fam.
There you go. Ring-a-ding-ding. Door number 2 open.
It's almost seasonal with annoying bell music.
Dun, 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 dun. You hearing that enough at work yet, Mexi?
So, the great thing about my work is that rather than your traditional Christmas music being played, I was able to convince my manager that for the entire month, we are going to be playing Snoop Dogg's 2004 Christmas album on repeat until the end of the Christmas season. You're welcome, world.
I mean, you do work at a weed store, so don't you think that's a bit on the nose?
Well, for the rest of the year, it's pretty much a Bob Marley radio station, so...
Oh, bless. Small keys. You're still in Breath of the Wild. I guess some traditions are too sacred to get rid of.
It's kind of weird, too, that we're still playing the European version. That's why this is the Ice Temple. And it makes sense. There's a lot of ice puzzles. But for the rest of the world, this was the Snow Temple, which makes less sense because there's not too many snow parts. I mean, there's a part where you can, like, clear it away with the boomerang and stuff, but this is definitely an ice dungeon, so kudos for the Europeans for getting their dungeon names right.
Oh, right, yeah, we got the boomerang. I was completely zoned out. I think I was looking at the mini-link on the map over there. But yeah, the boomerang, you can use it to, create a path that flames can travel along. Very useful. Stand here, don't go any further and jump into the water, like I did on one take. And now we can bring the ice up there, new gimmick, the blue ice, which creates, the blue fire that creates ice paths.
Yeah, normally blue fire is just really, really cold fire that melts hot ice. Ocarina of Time made no sense, and it makes even less sense now.
Remind me, Mexi, when you unfreeze King Zora in Ocarina of Time, does he stay unfrozen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, very stark contrast to that one NPC in, I think it might be Faces of Evil for the Philips CDI, where you unfreeze her, and she's like, oh my goodness, and just freezes again.
Well, must suck to suck.
Indeed. Were they expecting tourists in this place?
I mean, they're expecting Advent, like, just people who are hobbyists, people who really love stamps, people out to save the world. Like I said, this really should be more of a religious place, a really important place to prevent the end of the world, so the fact that there's even monsters here, they seem like the more out-of-place thing to me.
Don't forget that by getting 10 stamps, you can unlock a certain outfit for Link. I can't promise you'll be seeing that until the end of the game, but it will be in the playthrough.
Hashtag good enough.
God damn, that's a big old bell.
Just hit it with your sword. Just dink it.
Nope. Block puzzle first.
Oh. Oh yeah, because this is an ice dungeon.
Uh-huh.
And again, remember, most of these puzzles were made by developers as opposed to, like, designers, so I feel like these block puzzles are a bit more intricate than other ones. Even, what was it? The Mansion had block puzzles, but there were only, like, 2, and they were really quick and easy. These ones, like I said, they still remind me of old-school puzzle PC games.
Oh yeah, they did have block puzzles in the mansion. I completely forgot, because I think I was getting them confused with some optional things that look almost exactly the same.
Yeah, there's those. Then again, most people just remember making soup. They don't actually remember, like, the dungeon itself.
Yeah, pretty much. So, what was your take on the Blizzard Temple first time through, mate? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Would you vote it to get the fuck out of the Zelda franchise?
Probably none of the above. It was just a dungeon to me. Until we get to the boss, like you said at the beginning of this part, the only real noteworthy thing in this entire dungeon is the boss. And that boss can go rotten hell. I hate it. But in terms of this dungeon, it's okay. It's like the dungeons are really just the weakest point of Spirit Tracks. Not to say that they are bad, just like I said, they're the last thing I remember after being able to blow a choo-choo whistle.
Oh yeah. Once you blow that choo-choo whistle, you can never go back.
It's like, what's even the point of going to dungeons? I don't get why everyone's so upset about the lack of dungeons.
So this translates to hit the big bell once, hit the medium-sized one twice, then you hit the little one once, and then I think it's back to the middle.
It kind of looks a little like the Serenade of Water, just minus the last note being in the middle as opposed to constantly going up.
Huh. Do you think that was intentional, or just a really weird coincidence?
I feel like they noticed it, and they probably just went with it. I mean, ice, water. Remember, Zelda designers aren't stupid. These guys have this thing on lockdown, so I'm sure they did on purpose, just for the diehards, for the me's out there.
Slowly now.
I think this is the part I didn't like, is that you essentially have these block pushing puzzles that are timed.
Yes.
Just because you gotta make sure you get it on. You gotta get it off the dissolvable ice, not on the permafrost, just the ones that you make with your boomerang.
God, I remember fucking sucking at that the first time around.
But I love this puzzle. This puzzle is super cool though, just the idea that, you know, we have to use the boomerang in a non-logical way.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just something that, oh, hey, if you're super clever, you can do this. It's like, no, this is intended. You're supposed to defy the laws of physics.
Oh, why do I send these things reeling? They always come back to bite me in the arse.
You have trouble with Koopa shells in Mario games, don't you?
I do. I didn't want it to get out this way, but you've revealed me now.
It's alright. Same fam. Oh boy, who's ready for fire and ice puzzles?
Yeah, I didn't have the answer to this at the time, so let's just go and get that solution, shall we?
Yeah. You know, more ways in which this game just does not want you to sequence break, but you can if you are good enough.
I actually did a sequence break way earlier in the part, like, with hitting the torches in the right order. That one is actually not too bad, because if you use the fire to reveal, to burn up the snow around the torches, it gives you the order.
I don't understand.
What's to understand? The chicken scratch clearly translates to fire, fire, ice, fire, fire, ice.
Oh, okay, that's what you were going with. See, when I did it, I literally just put dots for red fire, and I put circles for blue fire.
Very interesting. Well, you didn't have the power of editing on your side. I definitely did that the first time. No, I will not hear otherwise.
I don't have the power of the equipment to actually record the game and show you all. It's my one weakness.
White Wolfos are so cute in this game, what the hell?
They're nice and fluffy, and, you know, they still go down to just as many hits as 3D White Wolfos.
Yeah. I don't think Wolfos will ever be as intimidating as the ones in Ocarina of Time, again, you know?
Yeah, and even then, it's only because you don't really know their weakness of one-hit KOs on the back. Although I did always love that one White Wolfos in the Snowhead Temple, you know, until you need to go back, because you need to go get the frog that's in the dungeon, and you have to fight him again, and again, and he's just kind of annoying.
No, Tom, you have to step on the switch first to create a bridge, come on.
The boss key isn't actually physically there until Link picks it up. It's some kind of, like, quantum bullshit or something.
Making a lot of use of the whirlwind in this dungeon. I kind of like that. So it's like the previous dungeon mechanics haven't been forgotten. They're just using it to improve the next dungeon in the sequence.
Exactly, and that's a really good way that you can build, like, the difficulty in Zelda dungeons, is by, you know, just incorporating a new layer of puzzle elements with the new dungeon item, instead of making the dungeon in its entirety be an item tutorial. That's boring. Please stop doing that, and I'm glad that they have stopped doing that.
I'm not really comfortable with these message stones resembling tombstones.
Again, we're gonna go back to the religious aspects.
I guess.
Once they had gotten rid of that policy in the 90s and they were actually allowed to go all out, they went all out, including, all that subtext about your Lord and Savior, Miyamoto.
Of course. Alright, let's see the granddaddy of the Blizzard Temple. Here he is. It's Fraaz.
Fraaz, because he's ice and fire, so what else are you going to name him other than a portmanteau of Blaze and Freeze?
Yep, I'm going to call him Sonic Boom, Fire, and Ice. Okay, the map will help in the later stages, but for now, you just got to basically hit him with the opposite element that he's currently channeling. So if he's blue, use fire, and if he's red, use blue.
So would you say he's more of a bat or a pig? Kind of a penguin, too?
He strikes me as a cross between like a bat and an Octorok, honestly.
Yeah, something like that. So is he like a really big Keese, or are vampires now confirmed in the Zelda canon?
Let's go with that second one, just because it sounds a lot more interesting. And I love how he's like, you know what, I've kind of had it up to here with you abusing the gimmick that I so thoughtfully laid out to you. Fuck it, now you play things by my rules.
Right? It's like Ganon, the ultimate evil, just can't figure out why his attacks keep getting sent back at him and ending in his defeat.
Yeah.
Fraaz, on the other hand, Fraaz has got a head here. Good head on his shoulder, knows how to take care of a hero time.
Okay, well, unfortunately for him, he still plans on head retarded and gives me the element that he's weak to eventually.
I mean, this is still a Twin Rova boss fight, guys, come on.
Oh my
Did you
God.
expect anything less?
Yeah, it is really early in the game as well.
Let's take the penultimate, dungeon boss and make him the second boss. Sure, why not? Nintendo 2000, whatever year Spirit Tracks came out.
He's actually kind of cuddly, honestly, when he's all inflated and whatnot.
I agree. Kind of reminds me of the ghost boss in Wind Waker.
Remind me, it's completely left my mind.
You're getting me in a period where I am awful with names right now, but
Oh, Jahala.
yeah, I keep calling him Jambalaya for some reason.
That's funnier, just go with it.
Right, so Jambalaya the Ghost, it's kind of similar to that as well when he's all puffed up.
Yeah, they will revive each other if you take too long killing the second one.
I hate these RPG fights where you have to kill them both close enough.
I hate the kind of RPG fights where usually you'll get a little window where it's like, okay, you didn't do it simultaneously, but we'll count it as simultaneously. But the ones where you have to do both at the same time, they can just fucking die.
Like to the actual single HP of both bosses.
Yes.
And it's like you have to use scan or whatever the HP revealing spell is, which you never use because why bother, but now you kind of need it because you need to know exactly where their HPs are at.
I think this is where the fight starts to go a little bit south for me specifically, because yeah, the boomerang controls start to bite me in the arse a little bit. Yeah.
For me too, just I don't know if I had a glitch at one point, but I had a problem where I was catching on to the opposite element, and then the boomerang was taking it to the boss, but there were times like there, where it just didn't seem like it hit, or maybe my perspective was off, so it looked like the line was going to cross them, but it didn't, but it seemed like a lot of my boomerang flybys just weren't hitting him.
Alright, let's give him some firepower.
Don't you also hate it when video games just can't seem to consistently get it whether ice is weak to fire or fire is weak to ice?
Yeah, that really rustles my fucking jimmies, so it does.
Like you use ice against, it's like, what? No, you're supposed to use water, and it's like, oh no, in this game ice and water are the same thing, and you're like, fuck.
I think this is where things start to go a little bit wonky for me, because I hold down the L button to activate my weapon, and I'm already holding the 3DS capture unit, so uh-oh SpaghettiOs.
Damn it, Nintendo, why didn't you design your boss with consideration for people who would be recording said boss fight? I mean, that's just irresponsible game design.
What you like? Well, it's over now. Goodbye.
One last Inflato match.
Looks like he is retaining water.
And flames?
Whatever, he's dead now. It doesn't matter.
Rip in peace, Todoroki.
I don't know what that means, but it's fun.
I thought you watched My Hero Academia.
Oh, Zuko, right.
Zuko.
He's,
Oh, fuck. Never has my poor young child been so disrespected, and I've been okay with it.
Alright, let's see. Those beautiful wings, Mr. Statue at the end of the dungeon.
Mr. Icon at the corner of all of our playthrough parts. You can't, now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it.
Playthroughs of interest. So, Maxi, Blizzard Temple out of 10, if you would, please.
You know, out of Spirit Track dungeons, I'd say it's like a 6, 7. Out of, like, the whole franchise, 4, 5.
Yeah, if we did, like, a top 10 ice dungeons in Zelda, and we probably will someday, because ad revenue is just too tempting to give up, this will probably rank low, if not be just outside the top 10, but it's fine. The temples really aren't the main selling point of Spirit Tracks. It's the journey across the lands, it's interacting with the train and all the mechanics involved with that, and it's really just like going through the Tower of Spirits itself. That's where the main meat of the game is, challenge-wise.
And I feel that, like, people who are the most, like, you know, forgiving of Spirit Tracks dungeons are definitely the people that liked Majora's Mask, because it's the same thing.
Huh.
Like you hear people complain about Majora's Mask dungeons, it's like, well, they're great, but they're not the focus. Same thing with Spirit Tracks. They're not great, but they're not the focus.
Interesting. Like, I did make the comparison with the Oracle series, but yeah, the Majora's Mask one is dead on as well.
Right. And I see a lot more connections with Majora's Mask, but, you know, it's things later on when we get to, like, other towns and stuff. But, you know, I see a lot of similarities, and it explains why a lot of people who do like this game.
Yeah. Maxi sees Majora's Mask. I see the end of a dungeon. You get it?
I would like to put in my resignation letter to all future internet content, please.
Sorry, I placed a curse on you. You're mine forever now.
Fuck, this is what I get for signing internet contracts without reading.
There you go.
Terms of service.
Great job, Ed Tom, and not the other person in the call.
Hey, that's me.
I should have named Link Entom and Mexi, just for the lulz.
Aww. But then that would make Link just, like, have this split personality that everyone in Hyrule is just A-okay with. They've accepted him.
Ah, well, that's enough for temple fun for this week, guys. We'll see you next time when we head back to the Tower of Spirits and go up one more floor to our destiny. Bye for now.